All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Heat number 1. Ryan McDaniel and Becky Snodgrass on the front row. Ed Sr. and Vern Spring on the second row. Scott Snodgrass and David Lux on the third row. Richie Joplin, Edmund Jones on the fourth, and Austin Edwards rounding out the field. Of note, I did talk to Scott and Becky on Friday night, and even though they are married, all bets are off when they are on track together. Matt Moniak, not very confident tonight. Pace car will lead him around one more time. Ryan McDaniel dropped to the tail end of the field, so now it is Ed Sr. and Becky Snodgrass on the front row. Hayes' car is in. Senior in control of the start here. He fires. Green is in the air as soon as they come off 4. And a little bumpy through 1 and 2. Edmund Jones goes backwards a little. Austin Edwards has already shot up to 4th place. They're 3 wide back behind out of 4. McDaniel gets together. Looked like with Becky. Ed Sr. meanwhile has a lead on Scott, but Austin has caught up. Austin a little drifty off turn 4. Richie Joplin right on the bumper. Edmund Jones trying to make up some ground here. Currently has the fastest lap. The only driver so far to go under 19 seconds. Ed Sr. had a 7/10 of a second lead, but it's gone. Scott and Austin come by. Six laps to go, but Scott will come into lap traffic. Will Austin have the... Austin's got the momentum now as they go off into 3. Austin Edwards from the back to the front. He is in the lead. Goes by Becky. Becky up to the wall. Austin to the front, and he is pulling away. Ed Sr. now battling with Richie Joplin for 3rd. Edmund right on their bumper. David Lux now in the mix as well. Senior losing a little ground up on that high side. Richie managing to get by. Edmund also clears. And now David Lux gets by Senior and takes 5th. Austin Edwards, meanwhile, has opened up an 8/10 of a second lead. With 2 to go, lap traffic will come into play again for Austin. Maybe not. Looks like some of the lap traffic has gone to pit road as white flag comes out. One more time around for Austin Edwards. And Austin is patented drift across the line wins heat number 1. Scott coming home in second, Richie third, Edmund fourth, David Lux finishes fifth. Heat number 2, we'll see Kyle McRecken, Martin, and Brian Hewitt on the front row. Matt Moniak, Andrew Thornton have the second row. John Barry, Michael Whiting have the third row. Michael Cray and Kendrick Cryer round out the field. All the drivers on the grid begin rolling for their 2 pace laps. John, when you win your race, we expect to, what in the world is McRecken doing? McRecken doing McRecken things. Now, will McRecken come back to the front of the line, or was that his way of taking an EOL here? I guess it looks like he's taking the EOL. So that should give the front row to Brian Hewitt and Matt Moniak. Everybody through turns 3 and 4. Pace car is in. They're away. Green flag in the air. Holy cow. Hewitt kisses the wall out of 4. Matt Moniak now out front for the moment. John Barry in second. Kendrick Cryer in third. They are 3 wide mid-pack. Brian Hewitt is in the wall in turn 4. John Barry has snuck his way by into the lead, but battles side by side with Kendrick Cryer. Oh! Barry gets loose, out of 4, collects a bunch of drivers. Cryer is through the infield. Whiting comes through clean. See this incident off of turn 4. Barry just gets loose, gets into Cryer. Everybody stacks up into him. And somehow through all that chaos, McRecken passes everybody and has gone to the lead. Michael Whiting now has second. Kendrick Cryer, after going through the grass, holds on to third. Does have the fastest lap. Matt Moniak in fourth. Andrew Thornton fifth. John Barry back in sixth. Michael Cray off track in seventh, and it looks like Brian Hewitt in eighth. Michael Whiting is closing the gap, though, on McRecken. And Kendrick Cryer is right there with Michael Whiting. Cryer has the nose in into 3. Cryer clears into second and right to the bumper on McRecken. Now underneath McRecken. Close off of turn 2. They almost get together. Now McRecken protecting that bottom line. Lap traffic going to come into play. 2 laps to go. Kyle gets the better run out of turn 2, down into 3. Hewitt goes up the track, lets the leaders by. White flag is in the air. Can McRecken hold off Kendrick? And any mistake will fall into Michael Whiting's hands. He is right there. Oh! Kendrick just dumps McRecken. Whiting underneath for second. Kendrick Cryer gets the win. Michael Whiting comes home in second. McRecken in third. On to the warm-up before the feature event. Austin Edwards going out to get some more practice. He did that qualifying. He did qualifying on 4 laps of practice. Got a few extra laps of practice after qualifying and went out, dominated, went from the back to the front in heat number 1. What's going to happen when he gets some decent amount of practice in here in the next 5 minutes? Ryan McDaniel had problems during his heat. McRecken, yeah, who knows what was up with McRecken. McRecken doing McRecken things, I reckon. Try saying that 3 times fast. I'm not going to, but you can. Michael Cray out on track. He got caught up in that big incident in the second heat. Michael Cray is currently the fastest on track. He definitely knows how to get these mods around all the tracks. He has been with the Jones BS Racing League almost since the beginning and is one of the most proficient tour mod drivers in the field. Vern Spring out on track, as well as Ed Sr. Michael Whiting. Michael was sitting there waiting for an opportunity to take the win in heat number 2. That little bump and run by Kendrick managed to move him into second. John, I have faith in you get some heat in those tires, buddy. Just be a little bit more gentle on throttle off 4 and you got it. If you folks at home haven't already, take a moment, run to the snack bar, get some food, get some drink. While you're standing in line, make sure you hit that like, follow, subscribe, and most importantly, hit that share button. It helps us out so much. John Berry, Matt Moniak, and Becky Snodgrass on pit road. Becky starting to roll back out. Ryan McDaniel sits on pit road as well. Richie Joplin, Michael Cray, Kendrick Cryer, Edmund Jones is in. Vern Spring attempting to find a shortcut here. Shortcut didn't appear to help much. He's trying, though. You got to give it to Vern. He is looking for a faster way around this track. McRacken just moved Austin Edwards up the track. I imagine when they get to turn 3 or turn 1, Austin's going to repay the favor. Just a little goofing off before it gets serious out here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the moment we have been waiting for, the feature event here at Stafford. Austin Edwards and Kendrick Cryer have the front row. Scott Snodgrass and Michael Whiting on the second. Richie Joplin and Kyle McRacken Martin on the third. Edmund Jones, Matt Moniak on the fourth. David Lux and Andrew Thornton round out your top 10. Ed Sr. starts in 11th with John Barry in 12th. Vern Spring in 13th. Brian Hewitt starting in 14th. Ryan McDaniel in 15th. Michael Cray in 16th. And Becky Snodgrass in 17th. Kendrick Cryer and Austin Edwards have both gone to the back of the field. As has Kyle McRacken Martin. That's going to give Michael Whiting and Scott Snodgrass the front row. At some point, you just got to think Austin, Kendrick, and Kyle just showing off a bit for the fans at home. All right, folks, here we go through 3 and 4. Scoring will hopefully update here in a moment, but green flag is in the air, and Scott leads them down. Scott Snodgrass with the lead through 1 and 2. Edmund Jones starting to move forward. Andrew Thornton already up 3 spots. Austin Edwards starting to make his way through, as is Kyle Martin. There's some wrecking behind, but everybody clears the track. No caution. Scott in the lead. Drivers infected just a moment ago. Ed Sr., Ryan McDaniel, Vern Spring all went off track. Here they are coming out of turn 2 on throttle. Ed gets a little bit loose, comes back up. Looked like Ryan was also loose on the high side and collects Vern. Scott coming around to lap his wife. He'll be sleeping on the couch tonight. Brian Hewitt and McRacken have also had an incident. Out of turn 3, out of turn 4, Hewitt bounces off and collects McRecken, sends him down to the infield. Scott still in the lead. Michael Whiting holds on to second. Richie Joplin now up to third. Edmund Jones in fourth. Andrew Thornton all the way up into fifth, and he is battling to make his way forward. But he's got David Lux looking on the high side. John Berry battling with Kendrick Cryer at the moment. Berry currently in 8th. Austin Edwards looking to push him back to 9th. Michael Craig currently runs in 10th. Ryan McDaniel is recovered into 11th. Matt Moniak currently running in 12th. McRecken is all the way back in 13th. Battling with Vern Spring in 14th. Ed Sr. back in 15th. Brian Hewitt a lap down in 16th. And Becky a lap down in 17th. Scott's coming up to the back bumper of Ed Sr. Sr. trying to hold on, hoping for a caution to maintain the lead lap here. Kendrick Cryer is now up into 7th. Austin up to 8th after both drivers dropping to the tail early on. McRecken still way back in 13th, but he is closing in on Matt Moniak in 12th. David Lux holding on to 5th, and of note, John Berry holds on to 9th. He said it'd be hard to get a top 10 here tonight. I think he's got it looking pretty good here. And you know every one of these drivers is smiling right now. Stafford is fun. Oh, we've got a move for second place. Edmund looks under Michael Whiting. This track is a challenging but extremely fun track to drive. Oh, Becky off into the infield. Andrew Thornton was looking to make a move on David Lux. Couldn't get there quite yet. Scott still has led every lap so far. Managed to avoid the early chaos. Has not been held up by lap traffic. Now Edmund Jones clears into second place. Michael Whiting has to deal with David Lowe. Holy cow, they are in the wall hard. Caution is out for the first time tonight. Lap 18. David Lux and Michael Whiting both involved. Let's see what happened. Down the back straightaway, Lux has the run, has the nose in, drives it in just a little too deep and gets hooked on the left front wheel of Michael Whiting. David Lux is on pit road. Ryan McDaniel also in. Michael Whiting choosing to stay out here for the time being. Not seeing any significant damage to that car. Scott has led every lap so far, but now it's Edmund Jones, Andrew Thornton, Kendrick Cryer, and Austin Edwards rounding out your top 5. Scott about to have his hands full here. Becky Snodgrass has officially retired from the race. I'm betting she's helping Scott out spotting for him. And the view from the chopper here tonight as they come through 3 and 4. Out of 4 green flags, Scott fires quickly. Oh, little bobble. Edmund does not have a problem. Edmund quickly to the lead. Now Andrew looks underneath Scott. Can't get there. Scott sends it deep into turn 3 that time. A little bit of a blink. Andrew Thornton now in 3rd. Has Kendrick and Austin right on his bumper. And it is 2 by 2 from 6th place on back. Hey, good evening, Airballin'. How you going? Austin Edwards right on the bumper of Kendrick Cryer. Andrew Thornton opened the door. Can Cryer get in? Not yet. Edmund has the lead. Now has pulled out 0.7 of a second. Richie Joplin back in 6th as Michael Cray on his bumper. John Berry in 8th. Kyle McCracken Martin has fought his way back up into 9th. Michael Whiting at the moment holding on to 10th. David Lux appears to have lost a lap after that incident with Michael Whiting. And we talked about how fun this track is. Let's see it from the driver's point of view. How about we hop in the car with Austin Edwards out of turn 4. Out of turn 2, down the back straightaway, back into turn 3. Oh, Tika, by the way, send Andrew some pizza. Back through 1 and 2 on the throttle. You see the inside there dips down a little bit in 1 and 2 and down to the apron through 3 and 4. It's a lot easier to find grip through 3 and 4 on the bottom than it is in 1 and 2. Austin don't care. He sends it to the bottom. Oh, Andrew's loose off 2. Thornton is around. No caution. Might have been some contact there, but Andrew had it gathered up, then just gets down and goes around. Edmund Jones still has the lead, but now Kendrick Cryer is into 2nd. Scott Snodgrass was in 3rd, but Austin just went to the bottom, shot it underneath, and now takes 3rd. Ryan McDaniel has had a problem back behind. No caution out yet. Let's see what happens. No, we do have a caution. Lap number 34, Ryan McDaniel involved, 2nd caution of the night. Ryan looking under Vern, down into 1 and 2, just pushes up. Same situation we saw with Michael Whiting earlier. Just pushes up, gets that left front, and goes around. Speaking of Michael Whiting, he has gone into pit road. Willing to bet he had a little bit of struggle, some minor damage that was affecting the car. No tires, just fuel and repairs. I don't even think Michael Whiting got any fuel. It looks like he just got the car fixed and got back out. David Lux has been waved back to the lead lap. 15 cars on the lead lap. Brian Hewitt now 2 laps down. Becky Snodgrass out of the race early, sadly. But now it is Edmund Jones up front, and he has got to protect that back bumper. Kendrick Cryer and Austin Edwards are right behind him. Scott Snodgrass in 4th, Kyle McRecken Martin back in 5th. The 3 guys that started tail into the field, Kendrick Cryer, Austin Edwards, and Kyle McRecken Martin, all 3 now back in the top 5. Pace car is in. Edmund controls the restart. Green flag back in the air. Edmund gets a great launch. Now it's Austin Edwards versus Kendrick Cryer into 1. And Austin Edwards clears as McRecken. Oh, ho, ho. McRecken and Kyle have some contact. Caution is out. Big wreck back behind. Looks like Andrew Thornton, Ryan McDaniel, David Lux, Ed Sr., and Michael Whiting all involved. Coming out of turn 2, and oh, Richie Joplin gets nosed around. Everybody stacking up back behind. There is Ed Sr. in that yellow car on the bottom. And somebody went upside down. Let's take a look at Michael Whiting, who I believe take a look at Ryan McDaniel. He may have been the car that went for a barrel roll here. He is. Unfortunately, ends up on his lid. Ryan did end up having to tow to pit road. Hopefully he'll be able to get back out, make up a lap or 2. Edmund Jones still has the lead. Austin in 2nd. Kendrick Cryer in 3rd. McRecken in 4th. Scott Snodgrass in 5th. John Berry, Vern Spring, Richie Joplin, Matt Moniak, and David Lux round out your top 10. Should be getting lights out 1 to green here. Barney signaling 1 to green. Rumor has it Barney the Flagman's arms never get tired. He likely has the strongest arms in the business. Pace car is in. We've got a car blinking on the inside. Here we go. They fire green back in the air. And it is a drag race towards turn 1. Austin on the high side tries to scoot down. Austin really trying to shut down the run by Kendrick. Kendrick onto the bottom now. McGrecken lurking every once in a while. Looks like he's going to try and make it through. Oh, a big bobble from McGrecken. Richie Joplin, meanwhile, battling with Scott Snodgrass. Scott trying to hold on to 6th. John Barry now up to 5th. Richie Joplin loses a little ground. Now David Lux is going to come by as well. Kyle McGrecken Martin just set the fastest lap of the night. Edmund Jones doing everything he can to take up every inch of track he can to keep those 3 cars behind him. Vern Spring on the attack. Vern has been getting faster and faster in everything he races. Currently running in 9th, but look for him to be up a little bit higher before this is all said and done. Andrew Thornton back in 10th. Seems to be fading just a little bit. Matt Moniak, Michael Cray right behind him. Cray gets a run underneath Moniak. Moniak did say this is not his best car. You see him struggling here. We've watched him be so fast all season during the regular season, but out here in these tour months, he does appear to be struggling. A bit of a surprise. Now the real question is, we're going to have about 30 laps to go here in a minute. When we get down to the end, McGrecken sits in 4th. If he gets to Kendrick's bumper, we know he'll move Kendrick for payback from the heat, but will he move Austin and Edmond? Oh, holy cow! Kendrick just loses a little bit of grip into 3, goes up the track. Austin gets to the inside. Kendrick hard into the outside wall. Kendrick still rolling, no caution. Caution now out. Kendrick tried to shut the door a little too late. Let's see what happened to Kendrick, lap 55. See if we can see the view from the chopper here as they come down the front straightaway. Kendrick just tried to dive it into one on Austin's nose. And, oh, Kendrick comes down right in front of Thornton, goes around. He was trying to recover it. That right front, though, it has a minor problem. Just a small problem on Kendrick's right front. Nothing to worry about. It's only no longer attached. Ryan McDaniel is back out on track. 4 laps down at the moment. He is the only car currently not on the lead lap, so hopefully we'll see him get a few wave rounds before this is all said and done and see him back in the fight. Now Edmund only has to worry about a McRecken on his bumper and an Austin Edwards on the high side. Pace car is back in. Edmund Jones in control. Green flag back in the air. And a drag race, Edmund wins it into 1 and McRecken underneath Austin into 2nd. Oh, it's dicey off 2. Cars are flying. Caution is out. Our 5th caution of the night, lap 60. Michael Cray is towed to pit road. Ed Sr. in the yellow car. At the back, Cray. Oh, Cray ends up in the wall. Vern gets yeeted around. Vern up on the high side through 1 and 2. Michael Cray looked like just pushed up. Came across the nose of, I believe, Andrew Thornton. Vern Spring catches a big piece of that as well. Michael Cray comes out, yeah, just pushes up across the 31. Michael Whiting gets a piece of it. Brian Hewitt went for one heck of a ride. Hewitt pulls a McDaniel and ends up stuck on his lid. We're just going to start calling that pulling a McDaniel. We used to call it pulling a Kevin Reed, but since Ryan did it first, lights are out on the pace car. Edmund Jones, Kyle Martin on the front row, Austin Edwards, David Lux right behind him. Green flag is back in the air, 21 laps to go at Stafford. McRecken sends it deep into 1, but Edmund on the low line has a run out. Drag race down into turn 3, side by side. And they are still dead even Back into turn one, Lux and Austin Edwards side by side as well, right behind. Richie Joplin lurking back in fifth. Scott right behind him in sixth. Kendrick Crow, holy cow, we've got a wreck at the front. Caution is out. And Austin Edwards came through that one okay. Oh, Kyle just bounces off the wall, gets into Edmund, and Edmund goes down low, ends up in the grass. Both drivers losing a ton of track position. I stand corrected. Kyle Martin still being scored in second place. Austin Edwards, though, has the lead now. David Lux in third. Richie Joplin in fourth. Scott Snodgrass back to fifth. Kendrick Cryer, Matt Moniak, John Berry, Andrew Thornton, and Edmund Jones rounding out your top 10. Vern Spring gets waved back to the lead lap. He is the lucky dog this time. We could potentially see a single file restart here. No, they're going to stack them up. Hayes' car is back in. Austin Edwards in control. He fires green back in the air. McRacken can't hold with him into one. McRacken, oh, he's sliding. He slides up under Austin. Caution is out behind. Matt Moniak involved. With 15 to go. Moniak there on the bottom, and oh, John Berry and Moniak get together in one. Berry managing to save it, but loses a ton of positions. Moniak also loses a lot of ground, but he saves it. Ryan McDaniel will get waved around this time, get one of his laps back. If he can keep fighting the way the last 10 laps or so have gone, Ryan may not be out of this. Lights are out, they stack back up. Austin Edwards, Kyle Martin on the front row. Matt Moniak is back out on track. Pace car is in. Austin fires there away. Green is in the air. David Lux right on Austin's bumper manages to get under Kyle. They battle side by side. Caution. Caution is back out with 11 laps to go. This time, Edmund Jones is involved. into turn number 1. Oh, Edmund gets into Scott Snodgrass. Andrew corrects Scott, but Edmund goes to the wall. Ryan McDaniel does get another wave around. But now with only about 8 laps to go, I do believe he's still going to be about 2 laps down. However, he has moved up into 13th just by sheer perseverance. Austin Edwards continues to lead here. He'll have to restart once again with Kyle McRecken Martin on the high side, David Lux and Richie Joplin on that second row, Kendrick Cryer and John Berry on the third row, Michael Whiting and Andrew Thornton on the fourth row, Scott Snodgrass and Vern Spring rounding out your top 10 as the pace car drops in. Here they come out of 4, green flag back in the air. Austin gets a good launch, but this time Kyle stays with them. We've got cars spinning through 1, caution back out with 6 to go. We're going to go to a green-white checkered. John Berry, Andrew Thornton, and Matt Moniak involved in this one. John Berry on the high side, a little loose. Andrew Thornton trying to make it 3 wide, gets into Berry. They both end up in the wall. Matt Moniak not far behind. Michael Whiting checks up a little bit. Everybody was evasive already and just a lot of bumping. John Berry has gone to pit road, as has Andrew Thornton, both in for quick repairs. Ryan McDaniel does get waved back around. Ryan Curley in 12th place. That'll also put Edmund Jones and Ryan McDaniel, the 2 cars 1 lap down, battling for 11th. 10 cars still on the lead lap. Austin Edwards will have control of the restart for the green-white checkered finish. Austin leads them through 3 and 4. Pace car is in. He's on the gas there. Away. Green flag is in the air. Austin quickly jumps to the high side, cuts off Kyle's run. They bump into 1 and 2. They're in the wall together. They're wrecking behind a big one at Stafford. Everybody's involved. Wow. So we will get another attempt at the green-white checkered here, folks. The first incident between Brian Hewitt and, looks like Ed Sr. just sent it a little too deep into the turn there. Kyle Martin, Austin Edwards just banging off each other out of turn 2. Everybody back behind. Richie goes flying. Michael Whiting goes flying. Kyle manages to recover. Vern Spring slipped by. Ryan McDaniel, David Lux, Scott Snodgrass all caught a piece of that one. Now it is Kendrick Cryer with the lead, Michael Whiting in second, and John Barry up to third place. Richie Joplin in fourth, David Lux in fifth, Austin in sixth, Scott seventh, Kyle Martin Curley in eighth, Matt Moniak comes off pit road in ninth, Vern Spring in 10th, Edmund Jones in 11th, and Ryan McDaniel in 12th. Lights are out on the pace car. The final attempt at the green-white checkered. If the caution comes out, whoever's out front is gonna be the winner. Pace car is in. Kendrick Cryer controls the final restart. He is underway. Green back in the air. What a launch by Cryer. Oh no! They're wrecking into turn 1. No caution yet. Richie Joplin and John Barry in the wall in turn 1. Kendrick out front. Austin has slipped by into second. Austin to the bumper. White flag is in the air one more time around. Kendrick went through the grass. And David Lux sees an opening. Up top, he shoots by. Through 3 and 4, David Lux comes out. He is going to pull off the win. Austin Edwards comes home in second. Michael Whiting in third. And holy crap, what a final green-white checkered we saw. All right, let's talk to our top 3 here. Starting with Michael Whiting. Hey, Michael, it's Doug. You got me?
Hey, Doug, I do.
Hey, a wild green-white checkered, buddy.
Yeah. I was down on power, and yeah, it was pretty wild. It was fun.
It does seem being down on power there may have paid off for you just a little bit.
Yeah, it might have. Who knows? Of course, those guys were all banged up too, I think, except for maybe David. I think David was in pretty good shape. So.
Well, definitely so, but man, an awesome race. You got hit hard early, went backwards, and just kept fighting your way forward. Great job to come home in third.
Yeah, I survived. Most of the other guys didn't, so we'll take it.
Well, great job tonight, buddy. Congrats.
Thank you.
Michael Whiting comes home in third. Austin Edwards coming home in second. Austin, I don't even know what to say about those last two green-white checkers.
Doug, I don't even know what happened out there. You know, I thought we had it locked up at first, and then Kyle Martin had to pull a Kyle Martin and drive it in there. And, you know, it seemed like it was going to work at first. We were going to have a race to the finish, and he got a little too out of shape out of turn 2. So, drove it into the pits, got our quick repair, and restarted in 6th, which was a pretty good spot. And everybody wrecked it coming to the green. So, you know, thought we had a pretty good chance there. Got clear of David, went after Kendrick, and, you know, Kendrick was doing everything he could without a right front tire trying to block, and I played my cards wrong, and David drove around us, and that was it.
It was a wild move seeing Kendrick go all the way to the grass to try and keep you behind him, knowing that you've been diving down to the apron all night.
Yeah, you know, when you're down on the apron, you can't really dive much lower than that. So he did what he was supposed to do. I probably would have been better driving to the outside, but, you know, I thought that there was a chance he was going to give me the lane, and that did not work out. So what can I say, Doug? It was a crazy night of racing coming from the back, but I played my cards a little wrong, and David took advantage of it. So congrats to that guy.
Well, man, great job tonight. Congratulations, buddy. Great to have you back.
I thank you, Doug.
And finally, our winner, a bit overdue, if I do say so myself, David Lux, man, it's a bit overdue, but what a wild way to pull off a win.
Yes, Doug, I know you know how I did it.
I'll tell you how those two were wrecking in the grass, and you just went around them.
Oh, Kendrick had some damage, and Austin was going for it. I said, I'm just going to go on the outside. So that's what I did.
Well, it definitely worked out, too. I mean, you pulled away from them. They were banging on each other so hard coming out of turn 2 with that stunt by Kendrick all the way to the grass to block. Man, that was a gutsy move going up to the high side and keeping your foot in it.
Oh, yeah. I think these tires are pretty much wore out. I'll tell you that, Doug.
Well, I imagine they are, but man, a great job, a great win, and man, like I said, long overdue. Great job tonight.
Thank you, buddy.
David Lux pulls off the win. What a final. Those last two green-white checkers, everybody hit everybody else. It just was nuts. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hope you guys had as much fun as we did. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow. I will be back behind the wheel in a race car. We'll see what happens. See if I can still wheel a car while driving with no feet. Thank you guys so much. Have a great night, everybody.